Okay. Bailouts. That wasn't capitalism. Stop saying that it was capitalism. It is called crony capitalism. It is not, it's corporate welfare. It's not capitalism. Real capitalists believe in it, that no business is too big to fail. No person is too big to fail or small to fail. You mess up, you fail. And you take the consequences. And let's talk about those risky investments for just a second. The reason that they were making those risky investments is because Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA guaranteed those loans and those risky investments. Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, FHA are all federal entities. If they had not guaranteed those risky investments, a normal risk investment would have happened. Those bankers, those banks would not have taken that extra step, but they did because they said, well, why not? The federal government's backing it up. So when we bail people out, when we bail businesses out, when we bail countries like Greece out, because we are responsible now for bailing out Greece for their mistakes, when we bail people out, we take away the normal risk that's involved in things, and we make it okay. It doesn't matter. You're not going to fail. There's no risk of failure when the government steps in. That's what happened with those risky investments. Tea Partiers are completely against the bailouts. We do not believe in the bailouts at all. What we think should have happened was that in the Constitution, the Congress was given power to create bankruptcy law, and they have created extensive bankruptcy law. And we believe that those corporations, including GM and Chrysler, which the government still owns, and AIG, which the government still owns, we believe that all of those corporations should have had to go through some sort of bankruptcy procedure, as is warranted by the Constitution. Then they would have had to reorganize, they would have had to figure it out, and it wouldn't have cost the taxpayers any money. And if it had, it wouldn't have been $14 trillion. So at least we're in agreement on that. That stunk, and we did not like that at all either. Okay? But again, this is big business and big government colluding together. It's anti-capitalist, it's anti-freedom, it's anti-the people, and none of us supported it. But it's not capitalism, so it's totally unfair to say that capitalism failed. And again, we haven't had a purely capitalist market. We've had a very mixed economy, like I said, for over 100 years. So, and it was the government guaranteeing things, which is what I feel like you're saying you want, is for the government to, you said, nationalize some things or take over some things, and that's what they did. They took these failing corporations over instead of forcing them to go through bankruptcy, and that wouldn't have cost us anything. When you are guaranteed not to fail, you will take those risks. It is human nature and human behavior to do that. If we pull out that rug and we tell businesses and we tell banks, there is no bailout for you, you mess up, you have to pay the consequences, I highly doubt that people would have made those risks. And this financial regulation bill that's working its way through Congress right now, look into it very carefully, because it is a permanent bailout. Because it creates a little commission, and it allows unelected bureaucrats to say, this business is too big to fail, this industry is too big to fail, this company is too big to fail, and ergo, we're going to have perpetual bailouts. So I would look very carefully into this financial regulation bill. Why do you think Goldman Sachs supports it? I mean, if they endorse it, I can't help but think that it's probably in their favor. That basically is that we believe that if you make a bad choice, you should pay the consequences, whether or not you're an individual or a corporation or an entire industry. We don't believe that you should be guaranteed to succeed. And if you fail, then you fail.